Hey guys, I'm back finally. Initially, I was planning to review the APFG M7, but we know how that whole thing panned out.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
But today, I'll be reviewing the Salvo Precision MCX Spear LT version 2.5, I think. So, does this rival the APFG MCXs as the MWS equivalent? Let's find out. You know what's funny? The day after I filmed that, this showed up at my door. Weighing in at 5 pounds and 1.6 ounces, or 2.3 kilograms, the upper receiver is a CNC'd aluminum alloy, while the lower is a cast aluminum alloy. The handguard is built very solid, with zero wobble. It has M-LOK pretty much everywhere that you would ever need M-LOK to be. It's made out of CNC'd aluminum, and is 11.5 inches in length. The gas block and piston system is replicated well, but the flat black finish looks a little cheap, and if you look closely on the side, you can see that the piston ends before it reaches the bolt carrier. The SIG pistol grip feels nice. It's at a good angle where your wrist won't be strained too much. Real steel pistol grips will fit if you want to change it out. The stock is a good replica of the SIG minimalist stock. It's foldable, albeit super tight out of the box. The finish is also anodized instead of the flatter finish the replica has, which looks kinda weird if you notice it. If you are wondering, the buffer tube adapter I'm using is the Airsoft Artisan one. It fits great and takes real steel stocks without any wobble. Note, with a full-size stock, if the stock is folded, it would be hard for you to actuate the selector. The controls are just a flat black finish, which is inaccurate to the real thing, as they're supposed to be more of a parkerized gray steel finish. Other than that, they are as they should be. By the way, this actually comes with the correct SIG trigger out of the box, in contrast to the APFG MCXs. There are steel sling points on both sides of the lower receiver and near the end of the stock. The finish is flat and more of a lighter tan than you would imagine from the usual 50 shades of FDE. Speaking of that, they have also gone away from the usual 50 shades of FDE, as everything is one color. I know some people might like that, and some might not. Although MCXs tend to have a more anodized bronze looking finish, comparing it to pictures from SIG's website, it looks pretty on point. I do prefer the look of APFG's Spear LT though. Let's see how well the finish stands up against the flathead. What the f? Alright, so with a good amount of force, I was able to damage the finish, but not expose bare metal. I would say it's durable, and I'm willing to bet that it will last longer than APFG's for sure. The outer barrel is 11.5 inches long. It's made out of aluminum. This comes with a SIG 3-prong flash hider, and there are 14mm negative threadings for any muzzle devices you might want. Overall, the replica feels solid and there's basically zero wobble. I do wish that the controls have more of a parkerized finish, and other parts like the gas system being not just flat black, but I'm somewhat nitpicking right now. Let's check out the internals. To disassemble for repairs and maintenance, push out these two receiver pins to separate the receivers. Then, take out the bolt carrier and charging handle. Internally, the fire control group is basically all steel, and is said to be a copy of the TM MWS system. Whether every single part is one-to-one or not is impossible to tell given my budget and time constraints. For mine, the bolt carrier is stainless steel, but it is not magnetic, which is possible. You can tell by the bolt carrier being entirely one piece instead of having a steel surface for the bolt to catch on. After over around 3,000 cycles, there's no noticeable wear on many parts except for the bolt catch. I think it's rubbing on the bottom of the bolt carrier, since it actually doesn't catch on anything. The hop-up is adjusted by this wheel here in the receiver. Pushing it away from the barrel will increase the hop, while towards the barrel will decreases it. To get to the hop up, first, remove these 4 screws holding the handguard in. Then remove these 2 small screws here. Once that's done, the barrel clamps will fall off. Now you will need to push the outer barrel assembly out by using a punch. It's hard to get on video, but it didn't take much force to push the barrel out into the front. Remove these 2 Allen screws on the top. This will free up the outer barrel. Now remove 2 Phillips head screws that's deep in these holes and remove the adjuster. Then, you can push the hop-up unit through the back. Finally, the shell is held by an O-ring, so you can just pry one side of the shell out and have full access to the hop-up. To get to the adjuster, remove this Allen screw in the middle. Be careful not to lose this small part responsible for the clicky adjustment. As you can see, this is fully compatible with MWS aftermarket parts including inner barrels and buckings. I heard that the 4U quad bucking wouldn't work because the steel is too strong, causing issues. Obviously, sometimes parts will need shimming or fouling to fit. To disassemble the nozzle, first remove this Allen screw on the top and this one further back. Now remove this E-clip on the back. Then push the nozzle forward and remove the retainer on the top. There is a spring holding it, so don't lose that. Now the nozzle can come out. Remove this Phillips head screw on the top to release the nozzle return spring, which will allow everything to come out. Finally, you can just yank the piston on the back off. You can change most of the entire nozzle, you just have to use the stock piston. Aftermarket end passes are also compatible. If you want to change out the recoil springs, they are held in by E-clips. As for common issues, if you haven't bought one of these yet, I really recommend getting a V2.5 with a steel bolt, as they have ironed out most of the issues the older generations have. I'm not entirely sure on what dictates a V2.5, but from what I've seen, it's an E-clip on the bolt carrier, steel auto sear arm, and a newer buffer. On mine, the tiny screw holding the right side selector would come loose after a bit of use. Make sure you Loctite it or your selector could fall off. Also, another edge that Salvo has over APFG is the variety of MCX variants that they have. As I said before, real steel pistol grips fits without modifications. Real 1913 stock should probably fit too, but that's the extent of it. Real steel spec handguards won't fit, as the grills that slide into the receiver are too fat. Obviously, if you sand parts down, I'm sure you can get it to fit. By the way, the upper receiver is not compatible with a TM lower. Don't try it because you can accidentally release the buffer and it will get stuck. That was not fun to deal with. Superloop PTFE should be used for metal on metal contacts for smooth operation. I'll show you some spots, like here, and here. The magazine weighs 434 grams empty, can hold 16 grams of gas and 36 BBs. It can be loaded by any speed loader with an adapter. I recommend only loading 34 BBs max, so you can have 1 BB per 100 rounds. If you want to use 1 BB, you can use 1 BB. so you don't damage your loading arm when you're inserting the magazine in. It also leaks out extra gas after it is fully filled, just like TM's magazine. For magazine compatibility, I have a few, so let's see how they do. First up is the Tokyo Maru. It works well. Then G&P Long Mag. It works. Finally, Guns Modified PMag. It shoots a little bit slower, but it works. The magazine release works as it should. It's ambidextrous. The charging handle feels a little bit flimsy, but it works and is ambi like everything else. The bolt release is very reliable. The right side works the same way, and is also really convenient to use to easily lock the bolt back to clear jams. The selector is really nice actually. It barely wobbles and it clicks into positions really well. I like it. The trigger is good. It's a clean pull up to a light wall, and it resets with an audible click. If the wall was a little bit more heavy, it would feel a lot better in my opinion. The dust cover works as intended. And the forward exist is mock. With 16 grams of gas at room temperature, I was able to get 86 shots before running out of gas. Now this looks terrible on paper, but if you calculate the grams of gas used for every mag, for 34 shots, it uses around 5.6 grams of gas, which is pretty much on par with VFC's. It's just that VFC's magazine holds a lot more gas. At room temperature, it blasts through with no problem. At 40 Fahrenheit, the replica does well on semi. But it leaves a lot to be desired on full auto. Let's try again with the stock mag. Yeah, not too well. However, I recently got propylene gas, which is basically black gas. Let's see how it performs with that. Since you guys are always asking, I will always include a test with stronger gas in all my future reviews as well. As expected, it does pretty well with black gas and near freezing. The recoil is similar to shooting a TM MWS. Not too much kick, but pretty snappy. There is a noticeable amount of bolt bounce while firing in semi. It takes away from the shooting experience a little bit, but it doesn't impact performance at all. Here are some recoil and sound comparisons. At around 100 feet out, with .32s, the replica shot pretty good groupings. The hop-up doesn't self-adjust, and there's a lot more adjustments for even heavier BBs than .32s. With .2s, I got an average of 432 FPS, or 131 meters per second, and 1.72 joules. With .32s, the average is 363 FPS, or 110 meters per second, and 1.95 joules. Using MWS magazine, with .2s, I got an average of 397 FPS, or 121 meters per second, and 1.46 joules. Using the gun's modified PMag, with .2s, I got an average of 391 FPS, or 119 meters per second, and 1.41 joules. So these mags are compatible, they just shoot less hot. Maybe that's a sign of the seal not being as good. The replica is fairly loud. It sounds just like a TM MWS. So, what are the pros? The externals looks nice, even if there are a few weird choices. Internals are TM MWS based, with most aftermarket and magazine compatibility. Also, the fire control group parts are steel. The gas efficiency is good, albeit doesn't hold a lot of gas. The accuracy is pretty good out of the box, and the price is pretty good. I got this on Red Wolf for $482.99, and that's before shipping and tariffs, of course. This is exceptionally low for a quality gas blowback with a steel bolt carrier. Now, what are the cons? The controls have a flat black finish, which doesn't look very good. It's very noticeable that the MOG gas piston ends before it reaches the bolt. Yeah, I'm very nitpicking. There's no end pass out of the box. It doesn't retail in the US. And finally, this is fully personal, but if you're coming from APFG MCXs, these will feel sorta toyish. In conclusion, for the price and what you get, this is an excellent product. Now obviously, there are some weird external finishes, but once you get past that, it feels like TM MWS. The replica is solid with zero wobble anywhere, internals are steel and are breaking in nicely, it performs like a TM MWS should, and is a replica of the MCX Spear LT. So what you have here is basically a TM MWS that is a MCX Spear LT for a pretty good price. And that's it. Again, I'm so sorry for being gone for over 3 months straight. I had cleared everything to be ready to review the M7, and having it cease really messed everything up. Man, that sucked. Anyways, if you would like to make it hurt a little less for me, consider subscribing and liking the video if you enjoyed my content. As always, thank you for watching.